Well, this video is going to be a little different. No projects in this one, more of a channel update and things that are coming up. Something I'm pretty excited about. Behind me here is the back corner of my food plot, the entrance to our woods. I've been promising y'all a wood tour for quite a while now. Something else you've heard me talk about on the channel a lot is I've kind of always dreamed about building a trail system through these woods. Well, that's finally going to happen. I'd been thinking for a while about renting an excavator. No doubt an excavator is probably going to be one of the better choices to build a trail through the woods, other than something like a forestry mulcher or mower that could just blow right through here. Problem I have with that is I don't want to waste the trees. Anything I can use for firewood, I'm going to, and I'm going to try to select my path through here to where I'm only taking trees that I just don't really care about, not good quality trees like an oak or something. And I'm going to try to do a path where I'm only taking very small trees. I've got the price and how much it would cost to rent an excavator, about having my mind made up that it was the year to do that. Then I got to thinking about something. Y'all have also heard me talk about on this channel about eventually getting a tractor wood chipper, a PTO powered wood chipper. I have a lot of tree line here to clean up for future fencing for the animals. Plus we get a lot of storm damage every year with hurricanes, severe thunderstorms, and I'll need to do constant trail maintenance and upkeep around the food plot and through this trail. So again, I hate to just cut a bunch of limbs down and waste them. I've always kind of envisioned having a big chip pile to either use it for mulch or to let it turn into compost for the garden. So long story short, it turns out that renting an excavator for the amount of time that I want was very close, within just a few $100s of what a brand new, pretty nice PTO powered wood chipper would cost. So it made more sense for me to go ahead and purchase the wood chipper, which I have, and it should be here in the next week to 2 weeks, waiting for it to ship, via freight line. So I'm going to go ahead and give you all a woods tour, kind of give you an idea how the trail is going to go. It's going to be hard to envision on camera, I understand, unless I was just giving you an aerial view and had it drawn out, and I just don't know how to do that yet. But like I said, I've been talking about it a while, giving you all a woods tour. Now's the time to do it. Mosquitoes aren't bad. It feels good. And get ready for a bunch of future tractor videos, wood chipper videos, and a review coming up on the channel. So hopefully that's something that you'll like to see, because it's going to be a long series. This trail building is going to be way more than one video. I'll make a series out of it, and then for the rest of my life I'll have upkeep on it. So I figured it's something neat to include on the channel. So let's go for a walk. Well, I'll tell you what, while walking out here I found a couple of pretty nice, well taken care of scrapes. Now this is something I've never shown y'all before, other than maybe you've glanced it on a aerial view from the drone. But this is the very back corner of our property, and we have a small natural pond here. Now this pond right now is almost completely dry, which I've never seen before. Still has a lot of lily pads and stuff out there, and a couple little holes with water in it, but if we don't get rain before long, I'm afraid I may see this go dry for the first time ever. Now let me try to give you all an idea of where we are right here. This is where we just walked in, the back corner of the food plot. Directly behind y'all was the pond that I just showed you. And what I'm envisioning doing is coming down from the food plot this direction, running a trail all the way through here, and going back this direction. Now our property goes this direction about 200 yards before it hits the fence line. It goes this direction, north to south, several hundred yards. I don't know how far, but it's a good stretch. This entire block right here, I believe, is about 22 acres of mixed pine and hardwoods. Total on the property, I think we're somewhere around 28 acres of woods. So my plan is to kind of come through here, go around a dry pond, what I call my wood duck pond. It's dry right now, but a lot of times it does hold water, and it's only about a foot deep. And from time to time I'll get ducks in it. That's why I called it my duck pond. But I'm going to try to make a figure 8 across this whole property. Just imagine this is a real long rectangle here, and I'm going to make a figure 8 through it of winding trails. And it might not wind up looking like a perfect figure 8, but I want it to cross and intersect in a couple different areas. Now, in case I didn't make it clear, you're probably wondering why I want a trail out here. Well, one, for enjoyment. I want access to my woods. I just don't have easy access out here at all. And I'll show you as we go through here. There's blown down huge oak trees that I've just had to let go to waste over the years. Had no way to get in here to them. Small game hunting, deer hunting, and just general exercise. It's just so nice to get out and take a stroll through the woods. You know, we pay for this. I want to enjoy the woods. I'm a big believer in not killing any trees if I don't have to. Obviously this project is, but that's the reason I want that wood chipper. That way I can turn them into mulch and something useful. And then this will allow me access out here to use these trees that get blown down in storm damage for firewood or mulch as well. It's stuff like this that I hate to come out here and see. This was a big, beautiful oak, and I had no idea it was even blown down. I just hadn't been out here in a couple years, just due to general access and lack of small game hunting over the last year or so. But most likely this went down in one of the hurricanes that we've had. It looks just about too rotten now, although I am going to cut into it and see if there's anything salvageable here. But something like that, that's a very large oak for around here and would have made a tremendous amount of firewood. Now it's just rotting. Yeah, it's going back to nature, but I would like to make use of that. I hate to lose oak trees at all, but if I am going to lose them, I want to turn them into something. This right here is something else that I'm after. There's a lot of very large pine trees on the property, and they die throughout the years for various reasons. But this is called fat lightard, or lightard knot, magic wood, you'll hear it called. Got lots of different names, and it's mostly a southern thing from my understanding. Been around my whole life. But what that is, that's the heart of a big yellow pine tree where all the resin has come down. And if you cut that off, it takes it a long time to rot. It's so dense and solid, but all that resin is still in that, impregnated in that wood. And that's how we start our fires down here. It just takes a few slivers of that. As soon as you light it, it just takes off like gasoline and will continue to burn. That's how we start a lot of our outdoor fires. I don't necessarily recommend using lightard for inside, but we do a lot of fire pit and outdoor fires. So I would like to get access to this stuff too. I'm seeing stumps everywhere before it eventually rots. And sadly, there's just not as many big pines now as there used to be. So this stuff's kind of dying off and getting a little bit harder to find as well, although there's still plenty in this area. And speaking of pine trees, this property has a lot of pines. Well, I say a lot, quite a few that are this size, and I have some that are quite a bit bigger than this as well, spread throughout the property. Just not something you see a whole lot of here in the south anymore, are these big, gigantic yellow pines. And that's where that fat wood lightard comes from, the heart of these after they die, when all that resin goes to the center and bottom of the tree. And I can't imagine how tall this tree is. Now what we have here is what I call my duck pond. It goes for quite a ways this way back toward the food plot. And we're right here at the very edge of our property. And this is where it goes under a small dirt road over here through a culvert. So I'm going to try to run my trail through here. This is part of that initial first loop of the figure 8. So it'll come back from behind us, loop through here, go back out toward the food plot, as well as loop back around up front. And I'll carry you to that part of the property because it starts dramatically changing as you go to the front. It's kind of lowlands, oaks down here. Up front, the elevation starts dramatically going up and it's full of pine trees. Kind of reminds me of South Carolina. All right, here we are going uphill. And I know it's hard to tell on this camera, but it just continues to go all the way up front. There's about 35 foot of elevation change on this property, which is a lot for Florida. Now back behind us, that pond that I just crossed. So we're about middle ways in the property. Now the pond is over here, the front of the property is this direction. This is about the point where my figure 8 is going to come in. The bottom circle meets the top circle. So it's going to go back this direction towards the food plot, then make another loop around, as well as this loop that we're about to take here back behind us. Now this is where the property starts dramatically changing. I know it's hard to tell, but we're actually down in a clay pit right now. and it continues to go down a lot further that direction, and it holds water year round. This is again about as low as I've ever seen it. And then there's another little pit over here, but this entire area is an actual pit where they used to clay mine. Now the trail is going to continue to go this way. This is getting toward the front of the property. And then it's going to loop back out to behind my woodshed where y'all seen that I built that. It'll loop around this big clay pit and then right back through the middle of the woods toward the pond where we just walked from, the little duck pond. This is pretty neat. It's never actually been low enough for me to walk in here before. Normally where I'm at, I would be underwater. I don't know how deep this continues to go, but it's a long trench that goes way on around that they used to, again, dig that clay out. You can see clay walls all up here and clay down here. So pretty neat history here. Obviously it was a long time ago they used to clay mine, because there are some huge trees growing here now. This is another interesting clay pit that I have never seen go dry. You can see the slick clay walls here. I guess that's a huge amount of clay that broke off out there in it. Now to try to give you another visual, the highway's right here. If you continue to go out this way, you come out south of where my wood rack is and where the main entrance is going to be. And then you'll come right out to the little planted pines that we have at the front of our property. So the trail is going to kind of loop back through, as well as make a figure eight back this direction, with the main entrance going out up here. Well, right behind me where I'm going to do the main entrance and the top of this figure eight, you can see this big topsoil mound here where I dig dirt out of. This was put here back whenever they used to clay mine. Right down here beside me is the wood rack, if you've watched any of that videos, any of my firewood videos. So they give you an idea where we've come out at. Well, hopefully you enjoyed the little woods tour. There's plenty more of that to come. Like I said, I just kind of wanted this to be an update for the channel. And if you have any interest in a PTO powered wood chipper, you may want to stay tuned, because I'll start doing a review on that, and you'll see it being used a lot making this trail. Plus, if you're interested in tractor videos, trail clearing, I'll be using a root rake eventually to be getting mowed out, chainsaws, firewood. There's a lot of work going to come out of this. It's going to take a while. That's why it's going to go over many episodes. Something I'm excited about, and hopefully you're looking forward to it. Thanks for watching.